and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Nerd Chronicles. This is your host, Proud Lame, Certified Beta Male, Simba and Giant, whatever it is, no game. The socially awkward nerd, Christian Paul, speaking at your service. This following episode contains graphic content that could be uncomfortable to some viewers, that could be like disheartening, not safe for work, that type of ordeal. It could offend some viewers in some way without any intent at all. It could be strong language. It could be basically strong graphic scenes, however it may be. There will be an E that's actually placed onto the top label up on the YouTube set, and it can basically require either views for a minimum 13 up, or in some cases, depending on YouTube's policy, it could be 18 up or however it may be. Please take notice before we get on with the presentation. Alright, viewer discretion advised. Now let's get back to it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is your host, right? Proud, lame, okay? Socially awkward though with no game, certified beta male, simp mangina, weirdo, ugly, whatever it is. This is your host in your recent episode of the Nerd Chronicles, Christian Paul. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to dig into another example of respect is currency here. Now in this case, we are actually going to dig into a quick example here of an episode basically done one episode that actually took place around a year ago by the late Kevin Samuels. May God rest his soul. I know he's literally laying and chilling up in Oklahoma City right now doing his thing, right? We're going to go review a clip on what he did about a year ago, where he's actually discussing where actually a woman called, a very young woman who is very single and very intellectual, actually called onto his show, basically seeking advice on, dating and all that other stuff. And let me make this extremely clear. I am not affiliated with any Mansford content whatsoever. I could care less about what they do and how they run things. I could care less about those things. I'm not even going to discuss relationships, even in any facet up on this episode or even on this channel. Not at the moment. Right. What I will be discussing is the etiquette that actually came by, and we do see some ills that actually came by throughout this whole episode that I really want to discuss and review here. So let's get it on and popping.
Are you a PhD?
So, I'm a PhD. I like to think that I have my stuff together. I'm beautiful. I have a great body. I just turned 30. I don't have any children. I work as a graduate assessor, and I'm also a high school English teacher. Okay. And I am single. I was listening to the other day when you were talking about Tracy Ellis Ross, and I was a little taken back at some of the things you said. So I was trying to understand, even today you were saying a woman shouldn't be, her first focus should be on a man. And I just feel like,
and take note, the views actually discussed, basically what Kevin explained, does not reflect the views of me. I have nothing to do with anything that goes on or what goes on in his mind in this show. Let's be very clear.
If I sit around and wait for a man to do it, I'm never gonna grow or be a better person for that man. Even looking at statistics, the amount of black men, because I want a black man incarcerated.
Hold on now. So now I'm gonna stop you right here. Whoa. Hold on. This is a conversation. I'm gonna shut this shit down right here. 51% of black men are single and childless. 64% are in the middle class. What you just said is an outright lie that has been disproven, debunked for decades, and you're still talking about it. Blackdemographics.com. Black statistics for black people by black people even debunks this. So please, ma'am, stop repeating that lie.
I'm gonna have to fact check, but those are
fact check it all you want to. That's okay. I say this because I'm a black man, and when I hear black women repeat this lie, it bothers me because you're going to give me 51% are single and childless. Do you believe that or not?
I'm gonna take you for your word.
I'm asking you, do you believe it?
I believe something else until you told me that.
Yeah, she's slowly deflecting. That's the team.
What percentage of black men are, okay, please turn off YouTube in the background. And that's fine. But if we're going to have a conversation, it has to be rooted in facts, because you ladies love the facts that make you look good. And the ones you're saying, talk about black men are in jail and down low and all this other kind of stuff. Man, that's an old trope that's been around since the 80s. In daytime TV, Oprah, Sally Jesse Raphael Donahue made millions and billions off of destroying black men. And when I hear black women going right along, educated black women going right along with this, when all it takes is a simple Google search and you can find blackdemographics.com. Just like the previous caller that I had to shut down when I said, according to the CDC, black men make the most involved active fathers. And no, black men can't be shit. So
I mean, let's move. Shit. So
but the fact is, 51% are single and childless, and 64% are in the middle class. So now, what's the issue?
I mean, I guess I have to explore those things. I guess the issue now is me. So what's my issue?
Well, do you want to be married?
I do, possibly, but I'm happily single as well.
I don't need a mate.
What does that mean?
It means that if I never have the opportunity or meet the right person, I would be okay with that.
Why would you never have the opportunity?
If I just didn't meet the right person that like made me feel special and loved, important, treated me right, didn't cheat, all that stuff.
So in other words,
I feel like I got it.
Excuse me. Okay. Well, first I asked you if you said you never have the opportunity. Then I said, why wouldn't you have the opportunity? You just skipped right on over to that to get into the finding the right person. Why wouldn't you have the opportunity to get married? Can you get married? Are you legally single?
I am.
Can you enter into a contract with the man and the state? Can you sign a marriage license?
I can.
Then you have the opportunity to get married just like any of us.
You see, I'm not going to settle.
Excuse me. Hold on.
I don't that right there. You see the young woman basically interrupted what Kevin Samuels had to say literally on his show. Right? Now, there's another podcast that actually came by. I will not say any names. That actually has topics relevant to that. Would actually bring women on, actually, where you actually recruit them to actually like spew out like the content that's related to this. But yet they don't have that much experience in the hell ordeal that actually Kevin is actually dealing with right here. And what they do in this whole deal, they do a bunch of gaslighting, a bunch of baiting and switching. Basically to them, like they'll try and say some disrespectful stuff to women, and then like when the woman says something disrespectful all the way back, they'll do everything can actually rile them up and have them getting kicked out, baiting switch, just like that. Now in this case with Kevin Samuels here, he provides a link for a woman to actually literally call into his show, and he tries to maintain the utmost professionalism as much as he can. Yes, he does have some profanity here and there and all this other things, but he does his best to actually maintain professionalism to the utmost extent possible. Whether or not you agree with some of the views that he has or disagree with some of the stuff that he does have, but because you have some woman that actually called in a big trigger on what he had to say and they had to object, they try to interrupt what he does. In some cases, they get disrespectful toward him. That's when he really literally matches that energy. And that's what you're about to see later on up in this clip here. You're seeing this woman literally interrupt Kevin Samuels, actually trying to dominate the whole conversation. You know what I mean? Let's continue.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's get into it. Since you want the smoke, I got it for you. How tall are you? How tall are you?
Matching the energy right there. You see that, right?
I'm 5'5".
Dress size?
7.
How much did you weigh the last time you weighed yourself?
170. I also have a 25.
So 5'5". Listen, hold on.
Look me up.
There we go. She interrupts him again. She's not letting him speak while he's hosting the show. Right? She's not being dumb. She's not having proper etiquette when coming on these platforms to debate. Let's continue.
Oh, ma'am, one simple rule of my show is I don't care who. Yes, you cannot do that.
Boom. Boom. Let's continue.
It will go completely off the rails because that is just disrespectful.
I agree.
There we go. And again, respect is currency. Whether or not you agree with the gentleman's views or not.
But you're disrespectful.
You see?
I said you are disrespectful sometimes.
You see?
But what
I can be
But he's not disrespectful now until you actually came by and disrespected him. Right? Even though he may say some things that you may not agree with, right? If you're not really that comfortable with some of the stuff that he says, why call into his show? You see? You see? Let's continue.
Oh, ma'am, I can tell you one thing. As the host, it's not disrespectful to cut you off because I am running a show for 4,500 people. I don't know you.
Boom!
I'm trying to do 10 different things, so this is my business. I'm running a show. If you consider me having standards and a systematic way I handle a show disrespectful, that's on you. Because I have plenty of women who love my show and watch it every day. But you seem to have a problem with the things I say, and that's your right. But don't call it disrespect because you don't like it.
Boom! You feel me? Man, I tell you. And again, if there's some women that are literally spooked by some of the comments that he said, even in passing, you don't have to listen to the stuff that he says. That's your right. That's your privilege. You can do whatever you want. If you're not comfortable, just simply walk away. Even if you hear content that's similar, like other people saying everything, if you're not fully comfortable with things of that nature, or whether they come in your mouth and you respectfully disagree, or if you do have issues with it, do not join. Simply walk away. Let's continue.
No, I think the way you respond sometimes to people, not cutting people off on your show that you're hosting, is disrespectful. But what I was going to say is...
But then again, it's Kevin Samuels' show. That's his right. He can do whatever he wants to do.
And my body standards are what
the American Medical Association. The American Medical Association. First, I'm a professional image consultant, so your opinions and you're fine. You can have those, but I go by. Excuse me, as an image professional. Excuse me. Oh, see, there you go with this shit again.
Again, interrupting. Respect is currency. Respect is huge currency. That's what not to do.
I've told you, don't do this. See, I could care less if you disagree. Many black women disagree with truth and facts all day long. Many black women will say they're thick when they're obese. 80% of black women are overweight. Is that true or false?
I haven't heard that statistic, but it's probably true. But I know that I have a 25-inch waist, and I know that.
So you're 5'5". So you're 5'5", right?
I don't have a problem with sharing.
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, I don't, ma'am. I don't care about your pictures. I need.
And no, it's this woman's literally being disrespectful all the whole way, literally trying to rub what he's saying. Very deep insecurities went in.
To listen to some basic facts. In mammals, is it typical for the female of the species to weigh more than the male?
No, but I don't like.
All right, ma'am. Then I need you to go. So a man who's 5'5", how much should a man, healthy weight, 5'5", weigh?
I'm not sure. However, I wouldn't date.
How much would a man at 5'5", healthy weight weigh? Give me a ballpark guess.
Probably what they should weigh according to the BMI chart, or what they should weigh according to what I find attractive. Because
what you find attractive is irrelevant. And what you find attractive is irrelevant. I mean, just walking through society.
Walking through society of being.
Just answer the question, ma'am.
Woman and
can you answer the question, ma'am? Could you answer the question?
I think Bernice Burgos.
I asked you a 5'5" man. I asked you a 5 foot.
She overweight.
And notice the woman's actually being disingenuous and actually deflecting the question because she deeply does not want to answer the whole ordeal. You know, she's a little bit insecure. She has some insecurities that she definitely has to work on inside. But again, this took place around a year ago, right? She's probably around my age now, right? But this is like a clear-cut example of what not to do when basically being a guest on someone's platform and actually dealing with certain etiquettes and all stuff. Because I too have the same issue that this woman is having as well at times. You know, when you feel you get riled up, you get ticked off at times, you tend to try to lose it. You try to defend yourself because you feel so passionate. You know, that could be my issue as well. When you have all that stuff literally elevate to the extreme, it can literally get chaotic, can literally implode right in your face, unbeknownst to your knowledge. All right?
All right. I've told you several times, you're not going to talk over me. So we'll try this one more time. And if you're going to continue to do this, I'm going to bid you a good night. I asked you to answer the question, and you just keep on saying what you want to say. I just asked you to be polite, man. Right. I'm trying to be polite to you. Could you please answer the question? Just give me a ballpark. How much did a 5'5" man weigh?
I was actually just looking at this chart recently, and I believe it's between 175 and 195.
No, ma'am, it's not. The average American man in 1960 was 5'9" and 3/4, 5'10", and he weighed 165 pounds. The average American female at the same time was 5'4", 120 pounds. Fast forward 55 years later, the average American man was still 5'10", and his weight had ballooned up from 165 to a whopping 168. He gained 3 pounds in 55 years. Yet the average American woman went from 120 to 160, a 40-pound differential. There should roughly be a 40 to 45-pound differential between men and women. The average height of a black woman, average weight of a black woman in this country, 5'4", 187. 80% of you are overweight, and you think because you have a nice snatched waist and a big ass, and you like where the fat landed, that changes the way the body is set up. You're overweight for your height, and bottom line, you weigh more than a man.
I don't weigh more than the man I date.
If a man was your height, you would weigh more than he does. You weigh more than the average American male who's 5'10". Did you not hear me say that the average man is 5'10", 168? You weigh more than the average man in this country.
Yeah, she clearly does not want to hear what Kevin Samuels has to say. She's really trying to call in for some more attention and for an ego boost. She's trying to dominate his talking points and basically trying to dominate Kevin himself. And because he's very intellectual, it's going to be very hard to do given his approximately 50-some years of living. Kevin Samuels, rest in peace.
And the average man in this country is in my DMs.
Average man in this country. And you can have all your defiant attitude and not like it and challenge the BMI and the racial disparity, whatever. Doesn't matter. You're overweight for your height.
I am, and I'm fine as hell.
Well, good. Knock it off. You could be as fine as hell. And the problem you had with me saying Tracy Ellis Ross could not get a high value man, and she's happily being single, is what?
Oh, do you consider Tracy Ellis Ross overweight? Is her BMI, her butt?
I asked you, see, the proper thing to do, ma'am, is before you ask a question, you answer the question that's been asked.
Boom! Right? Respect is currency.
You don't answer a question while asking another one. That's rude. You know, that's disrespectful.
Disingenuous.
You're an educated woman. You should know.
There we go.
Well, then you should know how to do it better than I do.
I definitely do.
Well, apparently, but you're not making a very good showing, ma'am, because you're being very rude and disrespectful as far as communication. You've done this, man.
Boom! Ain't need to drive by in the working world in order for you to actually fully drive. And this is a good example of respect, discretion, and how to actually thoroughly communicate properly when you're up in these types of debate settings. When you're coming by as guests on someone else's platform, you need to treat yourself and actually conduct yourself with the utmost level of decorum that you possibly can give.
Times. I've had to mute you twice.
I'm a PhD.
So the question was?
Disingenuous.
Answer the question.
At this point, I don't remember the question.
Right. So you have a degree in communication, but you can't keep up with communication.
So you did not want to listen to what this man had to say.
I mean, there's a lot going on, sir.
Actually, I'm right here. I'm on task. You're the one that said you have your degree in communication.
I do.
So show your work. I asked the question. What's the answer to the question I asked?
I asked you the question again.
The question that Kevin basically asked is, guess the weight of the average American who is about 5'5", a specific number.
All right. So in other words,
disingenuous.
You were being disrespectful because you're not even paying attention. The person who's hosting the show, and the question I'm asking, you want to say what you want to say so much. You basically said, fuck you and your question. I'm going to say what I want.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That right there. And this is not how you probably conduct yourself when you come and guest on someone else's platforms and when you're doing some things that are professional. All right, this is not the way to be.
All right. So you're happily single. Congratulations.
Yeah.
What else?
I said thank you.
So what else would you like us to know?
I mean, I believe that's it.
And you're how old again?
Say that again for me.
So you're how old again?
I'm 30. I just turned 30 this year.
All right. 30 years old, happily single. 5'5", 170 pounds, 25-inch waist, and all these other things. But why, if you say you're happily single, but you'd be open to a relationship, which do you want?
I don't need a man. Yeah, translation is I don't need a man, but I want a man. That's what she basically means.
So right now, I decided because I was dating someone and I got out of that situation.
Can you make it short, please, ma'am?
Like,
Ma'am, there are 4,700 people. Can you please kind of shorten it down so we can go back and forth? Which one would you like? Which one do you want? Do you want to stay single? Would you like to be in a relationship or married?
Right now I'm focusing on me for a while.
I don't need a man.
Yeah.
Someday.
Maybe in a year I'll consider dating someone, getting married. But
have you ever been engaged?
I have not.
Okay. Women control access to sex. Would you agree or disagree?
I agree.
Men control access to relationship and marriage. Would you agree or disagree?
I agree.
So just because one day you may decide you want to do it, do you think it could happen just because you may decide you want to?
If I meet the right person, yes.
No. You don't control that. We do. See, you ladies always talk about one day in the future if I decide I want to. You don't control that. Men do. That's what the whole Tracy Ellis Ross is talking about. She's open. You can be open all you want to. No one wants to pick you. 25-inch waist and all. I mean, you've never been engaged to this point, right?
I haven't dated anyone in 8. I haven't been in a relationship in 8 years either.
See? Exactly. Thank you for proving my point.
I've been focused on me.
Exactly.
I
cannot dream you up. Man, you are the person I made this show about. You have no relation. It's difficult for you even to hold a civil conversation with the man who challenges you. So
constructive criticism. That's what he's basically explaining. Constructive criticism.
Yes, you haven't had a relationship in 8 years because you're unfit for one.
Dang.
But it's by choice. I had people pursue
of course.
me for a relationship.
No, they pursue you for sex.
Okay.
They didn't pursue you to be married. They did not pursue you for being a wife. Knock that shit off.
Okay.
See, guys, remember the laughter is a tell. It's getting more pronounced the deeper the truths get because it's
Let's bring it back once again.
Wait, so I had people pursue
Of course,
me for a relationship?
Yeah, no, they pursue you for sex.
You see?
Okay.
They didn't pursue you to be married. They did not pursue you for being a wife. Knock that shit off.
You see?
Okay.
See, guys, remember the laughter is a tell. It's getting more pronounced the deeper the truths get because it's uncomfortable now.
Oh, see?
Okay.
I'm talking to the audience who can see what's going on.
Right.
But you think you think you're the shit.
I do.
Good.
And one day
But
somebody else will too.
unfortunately, the kind of man that you would want, the special kind of guy, doesn't seem to share your opinion. If he did, he'll be trying to find you. He would have wifed you by now. Not after you, not when you're in your, because your youth is what men want. Your youth, your fertility, your womb. We don't want you when you're all past the wall and everything else. So your sell by date has already happened, but you were not fit for it, and that's fine. And women like you and Tracy Ellis Ross can say what you want, but just like her, you sound delusional.
I'm old at 30.
No, you're first off. No, you're okay. You're at the wall at 30, but past 35, you enter what? High risk pregnancy.
You do.
Okay, so your eggs are old. And as somebody who has not had a relationship in 8 years, you're wholly unfit. Your relationship muscles have atrophied. This back and forth right here proves that you really don't even know how to hold even a civil conversation. You may be able to have sex, but a relationship, no. So it's not as though you could just turn this shit on and off when you choose to. So being happily single, you don't have any choice but to be single and be happy with it, because you don't have a choice to not be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's why you're not cackling and laughing as much, because the truth is set in.
You see?
You don't have any options in this. Enjoy.
I'm cackling and
You see?
I'm a PhD.
I got a communication degree. Yeah. All that shit has not helped you one bit.
R.I.P. So, ladies and gentlemen, what can we learn from this ordeal? Because there are actually similar videos that actually are just like this one that he has up in his YouTube channel, where he actually put his ad handle up there in case for more information you guys want to actually try and check him out. As if you decide to, if you choose to go, that's your right. Again, I'm in no way affiliated with any Mansford content, any red pill, what the heck so ever. I'm just the nerd up there, the socio-awkward nerd Christian, just doing Christian things, just pointing out some certain examples when it comes to doing nerd things. And one of the concepts, other than analytics, that are extremely important is communication. And a big key cog, and I've had some criticism on communication when it comes with some of the folks in the manager space as well, and other people when it comes to viewing their stuff, right? When it comes with this one, I know there's like a lot of ladies and a lot of women that are actually very upset by some of the stuff that he says. Some cases understandable, other cases it could be unwarranted, but that's not my problem, neither here nor there. But I will say this: if you are not comfortable with some of the stuff and some of the opinions that he states on his platform, or any other mandatory creators' platforms that they spew out that could be worse than his, or however it may be, and you do like a call-in request, if you are not comfortable, if you do not do your thorough digging on who that person is, and you find some of his stuff to be offensive, and this is not me, this is coming through your view. If you find this offensive, please don't call in. Alright? Please walk away. Please ignore some of the stuff they say. Please let that person be. Okay? Because the moment you actually come by and you actually try to call him and actually try to show him or actually try to one up him, you're gonna end up looking like the naive per se. I don't want to try and just I don't want to try and make sure my words are very smooth so that you don't actually take me as insulting you or degrading you or bashing you, whatever it may be. But I'm saying this to protect your image. I'm actually saying this to actually protect your self-worth. You know what I mean? If you still have some very deep insecurities really going on within you at the moment, worrying too much about like what do these do just to try to feel your ego, I think in my opinion it's best that you be able to go seek a psychiatrist or a therapist trying to hash all your issues so that you be able to air all your problems just like I did when I was very young. Alright? If you don't like some of the stuff that some of these folks say, don't be on their platforms. Don't involve being in some of their stuff physically and doing all these crazy debates with them. You know what I mean? Unless you're somehow able to be civil and be respectful in that corner. But if you're not ready to be actually respectful and you get extremely emotional, including lose your mind, right? And literally have all these crazy outbursts, not really wanting to hear what that person says or not really want to listen to what they say or anything like that and be disingenuous, it could be a whole nother problem in itself. And I will leave it at that, right? This has been like a very short, quick example. I know it's a little bit time consuming with the video and everything, but here's just basically a quick example, With that being said here, Chris and Paul from the Bob Chronicles signing out. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, share this video if you can. Possibly click the notification bell for any future uploads, at random, whether it's analytics, communication, any other crazy stuff, you want me to review or any other craziness you guys want me to review when it comes to stuff like this, anything like outside the ordinary, basically anything that actually comes to mind, I'll give it a chance to review. Just please let me know. Anything pops up, just let me know. I'll definitely dig into that and try and get my analysis on those topics as well. Deuces. Good night.